Hi, everybody. My name is John Wilker. I'm the owner of The Simplest Biz. I'll get into what that is in just a minute. But I want to make a video today directly speaking to people that are looking into flipping opportunities. And one of the other ones I came across today was couch flipping. And I want to show you the difference between couch flipping and what I flip. Okay? So let me give you a little background. I have a training course and I teach people how to duplicate this business model I've been doing for 23 years now, 23 years this week. And it has to do with pallets, wooden pallets. And you're going, wooden pallets? Why would I want to flip wooden pallets? Okay, perfectly good question. The world is awash in wooden pallets to begin with. It moves everything on the planet. You know, there's 2.5 billion of them coming into circulation in 2021. There's 2 billion right now. 2021 it's going to be projected to 2.5 billion. There's billions of more square feet of warehouse space that is being built presently for next year as well to handle all this inventory and stuff that's being shipped. So it is a massive niche. It's a never-ending cycle of supply from wooden pallets that we get for free. And there's a never-ending need for them for buyers that need those pallets by the hundreds and hundreds to ship the stuff out, their inventory out on a daily basis. And I show you how to connect the two together. So we have a kind of a built-in ecosystem as far as the pallet industry goes. So let's juxtapose that against flipping couches. I thought it would be interesting to show you the differences between the two. So if you're looking into flipping something, you have a reference point. And before I get started, I don't have anything is about flipping against flipping anything. It's all a business model that you can go after. I just want to make sure you have clarity on what the difference of these two items are. So when you flip furniture or couches that I see people doing on YouTube every week after week, or I don't know, some folks maybe have to do it on a daily basis, having to go to an auction, and you never know what you're getting from day to day, right? And then you have to bid against other people, and you never know if you're going to get the same deal that you got possibly last week, where your profit margins are the same this week based on what the inventory is that you're buying. Well, before I go any further in that model, well, with pallets, it's consistent. There's always the same types of pallets coming in, to a supplier. And on a daily basis, you're generating stacks and stacks and stacks of the pallets, right? So there's a consistency from week to week and day to day that when I go to get my inventory for free, I'm able to pick it up in a consistent basis and move that to a buyer directly to them without any stopping point. I don't have to store it like you might have to do with a couch, and we'll get into that aspect of it either. So there's a consistency. I don't have to bid on them. I don't have to go to an auction for them. This is just a byproduct of the businesses that we deal with for supply, for pallets, all right? And there also are crates and drums and corrugated boxes that come into play, and wire spools and industrial bags and Gaylord boxes. There's all this other stuff that's a byproduct as well from these suppliers. So we are serving that supplier in a way where we're moving all their different styles of pallets, possibly their boxes as well, and their dunnage and all the stuff I just mentioned, and going straight from that supplier. Once they load it on our truck, we're not lifting it. They're loading it on our truck, and we're going directly to a buyer with no middle point, no storage, no warehouse. A to B, okay? And so there's a consistency. With the furniture flipping, if I go to an auction this week, I might get a great deal on a beautiful leather couch that, there maybe wasn't that many people at the auction. I didn't have to up the price too much to get it. Or maybe I'm the only one there. I got a great deal. But next week I go and there's a bunch of people there and I'm having to bid and the inventory's not as good and my markup's not going to be as great. So it's always a matter of, you know where to go get a couch. That's fine. But you don't have a consistency in the profit margins you're going to make on a week-to-week basis. And sometimes you could go to those auctions and you walk out empty-handed because you were outbid by someone else. Then additionally, let's say you purchase that couch at the auction at a lower price or on Craigslist or on Facebook Marketplace. Now you have the couch, but you can't go directly to the buyer like you can with pallets. You got to take it to a storage unit or your house or your garage, because you have to make a post on Facebook Marketplace, or you have to make a post on Craigslist or whatever other methods you're using to alert the public that you have it for sale. Not to mention, you needed a bankroll to begin with to buy those couches, compared to the pallets, so we get 95% of them for free. And we're taking directly to the buyer. And I want to reiterate, next week when they order again, that supply is going to be right there for you. That free supply will be at that supplier that I guide you to again next week, or in a few days from now, whatever the case may be, to take directly to that built-in buyer again, because they ship those pallets out on a weekly basis. Juxtapose that with the furniture situation or the couch situation. Each time you have a couch, you got to find another buyer. And each time you deal with a buyer, you may end up with a great deal one time, where you got top dollar. But then the next time you have someone that is a better negotiator and gets the price down on you. So you don't have that consistency of revenue coming in, predictable revenue coming in on a weekly basis. Okay. And let's touch base on the bankroll. If I want to really make a business of the couch game, I need at least to start with one couch, I need $100, couple $100 possibly. I could do it and build it step by step by step. But by the time it takes you to go to the auction that time, and then load it up along with the bankroll that it took to get it, and then take it to the storage, and then go and make all the posts, and then meet the buyer, and maybe the first one doesn't get it, and then the second one actually does. All that time period to make your profit of a couple $100. That is different than the pallet game, because my normal morning is I get in my truck and I go 3 blocks to the supplier. And they get their forklifts and they load pallets onto my truck. I'm not lifting them. 55 years old. I'm 56 as of yesterday, actually. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to repair the stuff either. I just want them, they just want the stuff gone. So they're loading it on my truck with their forklifts. And I'm pulling out of that location and I'm going, to the stop sign, taking a right, taking a left, and I'm getting to the buyer. They're in close proximity. And the reason that is because the way cities are built, the type of businesses we deal with are clustered together in different parts of the city. So we're not having to travel to another town or city, or we can go in the same area for that buyer in close proximity to the supplier. So let's just do a little math. You made maybe $200-300 on the couch that you flipped. Now you got to go out and do that process all over again and deal with a different buyer each time. I'm dealing with the same buyer week after week. Okay. And I'm also getting my inventory for free, selling them for $5 a unit on average. And, if I put 120 pallets on my truck at $5 a piece, well, that's $600, right? And how long did that process take for me to drive 3 blocks to the supplier and have them loaded on? Well, that's 3 blocks, a couple minutes, 12-15 minutes to get them loaded on my truck, 5 minutes to strap them down, drive 3 blocks, another couple minutes, another 8 minutes to unload them. So we're at like 35 minutes and at a $600 clip. Now, there's some situations where you might have to travel a little further. It maybe take you an hour, maybe you're nervous when you first start this and you're being extra cautious and it takes you an hour and 15 minutes. Well, if you're getting your inventory for free week after week after week, and you have your built-in buyer week after week after week, that's called recurring revenue streams. Okay. And we're just talking about pallets, because Just like the couch flipping person, they could actually start doing dining room tables and other pieces of furniture and stuff like that. One, there is, they're having to lift that stuff a lot of times and move couches. And I've seen folks that show techniques to making it easier and moving it, but still, having the forklifts load my inventory onto the truck, my free inventory onto a truck, it's pretty nice. I'm usually just sitting around chatting with the forklift driver, maybe moving a pallet out of the way so we can get to a stack of pallets, something like that. I do occasionally when I'm not on the phone, but while I'm being loaded. But that is a pretty easy gig as far as that goes. Now, all that being said, there are things you need to know about how to set these deals up for the pallet game and the pallet flipping, because you need to know who these businesses are that are suppliers and who the buyers are, and how to get exclusivity for the supply, and how to work the deal correctly for the buyer, and how not to have to sort the stuff, not have to store the stuff, all that, and not have to fix the stuff. All that's covered in this model that I train people how to do and how to duplicate. You don't have to get on the web necessarily to flip pallets. There are scenarios where you might have some really weird stuff that you could post on there to flip, but we don't even have to store it in those cases. I don't want to get into all the details on how to do that, but it's pretty cool. We can flip stuff without even having to move it ourselves, and that's taught in the training in addition. But the normal course of events in the pallet flipping hustle is driving to the location that supplies us, having those loaded on, driving directly to the buyer. Okay, so let's review real quick. With couches, let's go over that scenario. You got to have a bankroll. You got to have storage. You got to have a different buyer each time. You got to use the internet to post the stuff. You got to meet the person that's buying. Hopefully, they are going to buy based on the pictures that you posted. And then you have to, do the auction aspect of it. And the inventory is different week after week after week. Can you get great deals at times? Absolutely. But by the time you have to put all those pieces together, I have built-in supply, right? It's not just a one-off. It's not like I get, a couple hundred pallets from a supplier this week and they're not there next week. They generate this stuff weekly, so that's built in. The buyer is built in. The storage is eliminated. I would store the pallets. I'm going straight to the buyer. The bankroll's eliminated because I don't need the cash on hand to buy the pallets, because in most cases, 95% of them, they're getting to me for free or paying me to take them away. So I'm double dipping. So, how long does it take to move 120 pallets? About 35 minutes once you have it set up the right way. My training teaches you all of these aspects of the business model for the pallet game. As far as I'm not sure where you get all the information as far as a course on flipping couches and stuff and furniture. Maybe there's one out there, but I wanted to take some time today and make sure you know the difference between the two. Think about it. There's only so many buyers of couches out there, but with pallets, it moves everything in the economy. Everything in its life cycle, everything you see, everything every bit of commerce, at least 80% of it is moved on pallets at some point in its life. So it's massive. 2.5 billion pallets are going to be in circulation next year in 2021. 80% of all commerce is used to move pallets. They're doing millions upon millions of more warehouse storage space now for next year compared to this year. And the internet is a drive on that. And I'm not just talking Amazon, I'm talking about the internet itself. The amount of shipping that is going on right now is crazy because of people ordering and moving stuff through the ease of the internet. Creates this swarm of shipping going on. So it's a never-ending process. The supply never ends. and the buyers don't end because they always have a need for this product to move, right? And we have ways of constructing deals in a better manner than what they're currently dealing with. Okay, it's a very underserved niche. So I think that gives you some clarity, and this really applies not just to couch flipping. There's all types of flipping out there, but most of them are concentrating on going to auctions or finding that deal, having to dig and dig and dig to find the deals that they need, and then all the other things that come into play, whether it be the bankroll and the storage and the posting and the sharing and of that information to get it out in front of the public, and then meeting the people that are going to buy the product. That's a multi-step process, whereas in this game it's really simplified and straightforward and repeatable. That's the main thing. It repeats itself over and over and over, week after week and year after year and decade after decade, with the same businesses that you're dealing with. Okay, hope this gives you some clarity on this compared to other business models. And I'd like to hear your comments. Comment below. Give me a thumbs up if you like this information. And subscribe to this channel so you get alerted as soon as something new comes out. And go to thesimplestbiz.com. Opt in for some more additional information. I got a lot of stuff you hadn't seen yet. And it's not all on the YouTube channel. I want you to see it. Okay? So you can determine, hey, this is something I can do. And this is for men, women, young, old, white collar, blue collar. If you're burned out and you're looking for something different and something feasible and something tangible and something huge, you found it here with The Simplest Biz. All right. SimplestBiz.com. John Wilker signing off. Have a good one.